for self-defense with your walking cane. And when we train and we warm up for learning how to use the cane for self-defense, we do something called cane spinning, where you put your palm to the sky, the long side of the cane comes out your thumb, and you push it forward and pull it back. And that's gonna build some callus on your hand. That's going to start to get your heart rate up. You can do this while you're standing. You can do this while you're seated. This works both positions, but this also is gonna teach you timing and distance with your walking cane for self-defense, and teach you not situational awareness, spatial awareness, where your cane is in space and time, so that you can defend yourself without hitting yourself. After you do this basic spinning motion to the side of your body, you're then gonna bring it over and back, making this figure 8 motion. This cane spinning also will become a self-defense technique. You can bring it through very quickly in defense of yourself, hitting them up between the legs and then down on the top of the head, bringing it through or back in self-defense in that basic spinning motion. So you start here in your warm-up, when you're training in the garage or in the backyard or in the hallway, in your living room, in your bedroom, wherever it is that you train with your cane, so that when you need it, you know how to defend yourself and you can fight with this stick for self-defense, fighting with your walking cane. After you do it in one hand, you're gonna throw it into the other hand. And again, your palm is facing the sky. You have a loose grip, enough that it doesn't fly out of your hand, and you're just pushing forward and pulling it back. Adam's here. Adam asked how everything was yesterday. Adam, it was a great day. We had a nice Christmas here. I hope you had a nice Christmas where you are. After you spin forward for a while, you're gonna come across and back. As you do this, pull your stomach up and in, keep your abs tight, tuck your chin a little bit. Steve says, Merry Christmas, Steve, good to see you. Your other hand is always gonna be up and out of the way so you don't smash yourself while you're training with your self-defense walking cane. This is the Cane Masters cane. This is one of the newer ones they sent me. I really like the color of the finish, and I like the feel and the weight of this. Sue says, thanks for training. Sue, thank you for being here. Sue is in SIOUX, in case you haven't seen it. Garen, it's good to see you. Garen says, hope everybody had a safe Christmas. Same to you, Garen, thank you for that. So we're going over and back. Again, this is to get comfortable with bringing the cane through and striking with these basic spins. Now we're gonna go into a very simple striking combination that you can practice when you learn how to fight with sticks using your walking cane, whether it's a Cane Master cane or any other regular cane. And there are two ways that you're gonna be walking with it. I'm gonna switch. I can see that this is dark in this dark garage. It's not as sunny today as it has been. So I'm gonna go to this one. This one has an extra feature. Try not to break the camera there. This has a palm rest. That palm rest is a nice feature when you carry it with the crook facing out, which is where we're gonna start with these techniques. And your hand can rest there in the palm, making it easier on your wrists. You use your cane every day to walk with. Having that cane with these palm rests is a really nice feature. Merry Christmas, Doug, good to see you. Sue asks if I sell these canes. I don't sell them myself, but they are from a company called Cane Masters, and I put a link in the description if you want to get your own Cane Masters cane, and they'll make you any kind of cane you want. Yeah, Garen says if we all practice, we will all be safer. So in this position with the crook facing out, the first thing that I want you to practice is just pulling your hand up like you're gonna shake someone's hand. Good afternoon, Almighty Cornholio is here. So bringing this up here, and when you do this quickly and explosively up this way, the end of the cane, hello Shake Scan, good to see you. The end of the cane is gonna run into his body. He might be trying to close the distance. One of the nice things about training to defend yourself, fighting with sticks, using your walking cane, is that you have great reach advantage. He might have a bladed weapon that he's coming at, trying to slash or stab. There were another 2 slashings just this morning, 2 or 3 yesterday, 2 in New York, a couple in Chicago. This is becoming a common thing. You might be in an urban area and you might not be comfortable carrying one of these, but maybe you are comfortable carrying one of these. And you can take this is the great thing about this, you can take this through the metal detectors that are supposed to stop all the thugs carrying the knives. It doesn't seem to work, but you can carry this through. You can carry this through any checkpoint and take this onto a plane, a train, a bus, and have a long stick with a hook on the end that you can snatch up between his legs. From here, you can also bring it over and back. So if he's coming in to punch or stab or choke or slash, you can break that hand. You can smash him across the side of his head. You can come up at this angle, hitting his hand, knocking his arm out of the way. You can bring it back down on the top of his head, maybe hitting him in the temple, knocking him out, turning off his operating system. You can combine the techniques. I'd like you to practice up and then coming down on top. So think about shaking his hand, pulling it away, and then slapping him on the top of his head. Just for, I'm gonna switch back to this cane, that one's a little bit too long. Just for the fact that he was trying to hurt you. So you bring this up quickly and then down on top. So you can practice this in combination. It doesn't matter how strong you are. This is doesn't require a lot of strength, which is really nice. If you're using your cane for self-defense, you should practice it in both hands evenly. From this position, the other hand comes up, you give the command, get out of my face, you're too close, back up. He keeps coming, and then you just bring it up fast, and then down over top of his head. Like I said, you can also bring it across and back. You bring it up at the angle and back down at the angle. You can throw in all of these combinations together as you spin through to defend yourself in this first set of techniques. So practice on both sides, 1, 2, practice this windshield wiper motion, practice the angle coming up and the angle coming down. So you practice those when you can, and then when you need them, they'll be in your repertoire. You'll be able to use them without thinking about it. And I always like to see you practicing evenly on the right and evenly on the left. So if you do 10 strikes on the right, do 10 strikes on the left, and then try to get ambidextrous in your strikes and comfortable and see where that cane is going to move through space and time so that you don't hit yourself with it when you need to defend yourself and hit the other guy with it. Now the next thing we're going to have you do with the crook facing him still, we're just in this position. Red Dog says, I'm going to drop the camera just a little bit, guys, so if you're going to get dizzy, close your eyes. Red Dog says, Merry Christmas. Thank you, Red Dog. We had a great Christmas, hope you did too. The next thing I'm going to have you do, you see our recycling there, is slide it up into your hand this way. And this spinning that you practice when you are training with the cane, that spinning is going to allow you to more easily, when you're in this position, pop it up like that, because it's going to develop a callus on your hand and make it easier. Hello, Paul. Merry Christmas. Good to see you. So from this position, your cane comes up. Your other hand always comes up. You give a verbal command. You're too close. Back up. I will defend myself. He keeps coming. And then you're just going to jab him, smashing right with your fist like you were doing a punch. Your cane happens to be an extension of your hand. It becomes a force multiplier. You're going to hit him, push him back, smashing his nose, his teeth, his eyes, into his throat with this crook. Like think of it as your fist, like a big knuckle, right? So from this position, just practice hands up, verbal command, back up. You can step back or you can step forward to make yourself a smaller target, to put this bony surface between you and him. He might close that distance quickly. Put your hand on your head like you're answering your phone or putting your helmet on. Drive that elbow into his face and then smash him with the crook. So you have this motion, then I want you to pull it back and practice bringing your uppercut up, smashing the teeth through his face, right? So you're jabbing and then uppercut. Cross body punch, we call that a cross, and they're all straight punches or jabs, right? So we're going straight in, we're coming up. You can also bring it across here. Think of a hook breaking his jaw, straight up hook, right? And you can practice those in combination. One, there's one, two, and it doesn't matter which one is one, right? Because when you're defending yourself, you don't have to follow a pattern. You ask yourself the question, what can I remove or destroy? His ability to see or breathe temporarily, his ability to breathe permanently. Maybe you hit him in the solar plexus, knock his wind out, make it hard for him to breathe and to stand up. You're striking down in that solar plexus from here, bringing this up between his legs or up under his chin, smashing, bringing this here into his face, into his upper arm, into his elbow, into his ribs. Maybe you're sitting on a chair and just practice straight uppercut, hook. I always do straight hook, uppercut. It doesn't matter. You can do them any way you want, right? The point is 3 basic strikes. And when you do that hooking punch, you can hook him with this, or you can hook him with that. So you can hit him if he's farther away, smash him with the long side by turning your pinky out. Yeah, Red Dog says this cane is gorgeous. I like this cane so much. These are Cane Masters canes. I put the link in the description below. This one's a little too long. I haven't cut it down yet, but I love the way it feels, and I love this palm rest. The other thing about this palm rest is you can use that as a striking surface. That'll rip his nose right off his face for self-defense. Come into his throat. You have a bigger striking surface because of that. And you can also use that as the head of an axe, right? Digging into different parts of his body for self-defense if you had to. But on this cane, we don't have the palm rest, but it sure is pretty. And all these extra things that helps it keep it in your grip, that also will tear flesh when you're striking with it for self-defense. Yeah, Thug Kwon-Do says he was taught to focus on the person instead of the weapon. And the way what I think you're saying is, and this is what I teach, is that, you know, if you're thinking about, instead of thinking about blocks, think about smashing and hitting him before he hits you, right? Think about, especially with your cane, he pulls out that knife before he comes in. Instead of trying to knock the knife out of his hand, crank this across his temple, smashing his skull for self-defense, and knock him out. Then you don't have to worry about the knife. So if that presents itself, so that's the question. When Violence is the Answer is the book by Tim Larkin. It's in the description below if you want to read it, if you haven't read it yet. But you read that book and you understand that you're going to acquire a target, and it's going to be based on what opportunities are presented by the situation. Every situation will be different. Where is he coming from? Are you standing? Are you sitting? Are you on the ground? Is it light out? Is it dark out? Are there multiple people attacking you or potential people attacking you? Does he have a weapon? Does he not have a weapon? Is he bigger? Is he smaller? Are his hands already on you? All those things will help you answer the question, what target can you remove or destroy? His ability to see, breathe, temporarily, permanently, his ability to be awake. Maybe you strike that process in the neck, those nerves coming down and hitting into the neck, and you knock him unconscious. And then we're gonna practice technique. Technique for here, you pop it up, get in this position. We have that straight punch, hook punch, uppercut, put it in the other hand, and then thrusting motion using 2 hands. And again, coming through his face, his throat, his solar plexus, down into his belly button, his groin, just coming straight in, and then chopping with that back hand like you've got an axe. And you have a tooth there, a big nasty beveled edge will dig into skin and rip off his face for self-defense. All from this basic position. So you're walking, you have it here, put your hand back, hey, you're getting too close, back up. You know, you might take 1 step back, you might take a step back into the angle, which is even better. Now he has to turn, he comes at you anyway. Straight in, break his jaw, either with this or coming around, turning your hand out, hitting here, coming straight up, hitting this under his chin, or bending the elbow more and hitting him with the long part, throwing that in the front hand, thrusting through his face, chopping 2, 3, 10 times, whatever it takes to make him stop, pushing with 2 hands into the throat, into the teeth, into his nose for self-defense. It's a very versatile self-defense tool. Your walking cane, this is how you fight with sticks using your walking cane. You might have a Cane Masters cane like this, or you can use any walking cane. The difference is Cane Masters canes are kind of the gold standard, and you can look at the link below to see what they cost. You get an inexpensive Dojo cane. That's my favorite cane. This is soon. This is quickly becoming my new favorite cane. Hello, Aaron. It's good to see you. Aaron says greeting. Derby style canes. Derby style canes. There's a lot of bugs out here today. Derby style cane is just a cane with a straight handle here. They're also effective. You can also spin a Derby cane. I like these just a little bit better, but Derby canes work just as well. Derby cane gives you striking surface similar to that. Striking surface similar to this. The rest of it is all the same. We're gonna go over those strikes next. Right now we have the crook facing out, sliding it up, coming in straight, come across, coming in, pushing, chopping through, thrusting here. And that's all with the crook facing out. We also said you can snatch it up this way, bring it through, bring it back, bring it up, bring it down on top of his head, bring it up at an angle, down at an angle. A lot of these techniques look like the Japanese tonfa or the Okinawan. You know what the PR-24 is, the side handle baton police officers carry. It's very effective. This can be used in a lot of same way. It doesn't have the part coming out the front, but you can spin it in a lot of the same ways and it becomes effective that way. Now we're gonna turn the crook around so it's facing back. I'm gonna show you from here. You can slide your hand down the front of it, pick it up, put the cane between you and him, back up, you're too close. You can thrust just like you would a sword. Think of a fencing, right? Come straight in, thrusting motion, come to your shoulder, striking through, coming down at the angle, always fight from behind your cane. Put the cane between you and him. We're fighting with sticks. Think of the temple, clavicle, upper arm, elbow, his ribs, his hips, his knees, maybe that vicious dog. There's been a lot of dog maulings in the news almost every single day. If you Google dog mauling, you're gonna find one, most of them are fatal. So if you're out walking with your dog or you're out walking yourself and you don't wanna not get your exercise, it's a beautiful night, and 1 in a million chance seems to be increasing lately. A lot more of these vicious dogs. You can defend yourself better than just trying to use your hands. When that vicious animal digs into your leg and you stick that through his mouth, shove it through and crack him on the top of his head for self-defense using your walking cane. From here, bend the knees, slide the hand on the front, pick it up, thrust, angle down, 2, come across, come back, come down on top. Now there are other angles, you can bring it up, you can get all eskrima, kali stick, arnis, fighting, and do all that fancy stuff, but you don't have to do fancy. If you can do simple and basic, that's best, right? We want to keep it simple. So from this, yeah, Garen says use your cane like a matador. From this position, the point is you can slide your hand down or you can pick it up and let it slide down. Again, that's one of the reasons we do all that combat cane spinning, is to get the callus on the hand and to develop proprioception, get a sense inside your hand that your brain doesn't have to worry about, where you know where the cane is all the time. And I want you to practice both sides, bend the knees, get behind the cane, practice the basic thrust. Now the question is gonna be, what happens when he grabs it? And we'll talk about that in a minute. But as he comes into you, you're just gonna jab it right into his face. He might recoil a little bit. You're gonna pull from your shoulder for that next strike. So thrust, practice this in combination. Angle down, horizontal, horizontal, and horizontal can be to the dog's face, to the man's knees, to his ribs, to his shoulders, to the side of his neck, and to his temple, right? Those are all horizontal strikes. And then finishing, wham, straight down from heaven, cracking him through the center of his body into his skull for self-defense, or into the clavicle, maybe break that clavicle, take away his ability to use that arm. From here, bend the knees, pick it up, thrust, 2 angles down, horizontal strikes, down on top, put it in the other hand, and then there's that 2-handed thrust again. Now your hands here are almost like you're doing push-ups, right? They're both in the same position. You can thrust here, you can do kind of a rifle butt strike, smashing through his teeth, through his nose with 2 hands. You can box his ears, hitting him with both sides of the canes into the body, into the ribs, and then Irish shillelagh style, Irish stick fighting, turning through your shoulders and hips, bam, right down on the top of his head for self-defense. Many ways that you can fight with this stick, your walking cane. Yeah, Paul says these are great. Thanks, Paul. These are just basics, right? They come from multiple styles of martial arts, which is really the point of self-defense. Self-defense is not martial arts. Self-defense is a series of principles, and I think it's best articulated in that book by Tim Larkin, When Violence is the Answer. I put a link in the description. And then he says, pick a target, right? And the way he gets you to pick that target, take a breath, calm your nerves just a moment. What can I remove or destroy? Then techniques will present themselves. How you're going to hit them, whether you're going to use, you're fighting like you're using a sword, or you're fighting like you're using a screema, arnis, kali sticks, or you're fighting like you're using a rifle, a bayonet with a bayonet attached, or you're fighting like you're Irish stick fighting with your shillelagh or shillelagh. It doesn't matter. The techniques are not going to matter so much as what you're going to remove or destroy. And then instinctively, you'll know how to hit them. But I don't want you to get all caught up. A lot of styles, especially the ones that I learned at the beginning, the Hapkido cane, there's a lot of things where you twist them up and do a lot of arm behind his back or cane between his legs and turn him around and lift him up. I don't want you to get into all that fanciness. I want you to smash him through his teeth for self-defense. That's how you fight with sticks. Stick fighting can't be, so many, you're not Errol Flynn and the Three Musketeers and you're fighting and you're parrying and, or what's a more, for my generation, the movie with the pirates had Andre the Giant in it. It's an iconic, classic, goofy movie, but it's a lot of fun. But the point is, there's a lot of sword play in that movie, and there's a lot of hand on the hip or however I don't know how they do that. There's a lot of dancy fancy, bouncing from side to side. Princess Bride, thank you. I knew you guys know that. You're not in the Princess Bride, right? And you don't need to be. And there are cool things that you can do. You can block, you can strike, block, parry, you can step to the side, and you can move right and left, and you can kick your heels together, and the little bells will tinkle, and you can do all that stuff, right? Peter Pan, you can Peter Pan it up. Yeah, like a proper English gentleman. My son calls it noble. He's like, why do I have to wear these nobility clothes to church? And I tell him, because you're not a slob. You can take that shirt off, put a collar on, right? You're not an English gentleman, but you're going to wear a collar to church. That's my rule. The point is, back to all the parry, and there are all kinds of blocks that you can do with staff. There's all kinds of blocks that you can do with sword, and there's all kinds of blocks that you can do with sticks. But we're not going to block him. We're going to shove this in his face and shove it through his teeth. And for me, that comes from Parris Island, 1989. The bayonet course, fixed bayonets, the concept, the ideas, you run out of bullets. And that's the other thing. People say, well, I'll just carry a gun and shoot him. What if you can't? For many, many reasons. What if you live in one of the 90% of the rest of the world where they don't carry them? And you can carry a stick, you can carry an umbrella, or a cane anywhere you go. And you can't carry, maybe you're in a place that doesn't allow one of these. You can't defend yourself with this either, right? And all of this crazy stuff, and maybe you carry it like this. We were playing around with this. All my nephews got balisongs. They got unsharpened. I didn't even know they made them. Unsharpened butterfly knives. They were all asking for tricks. So we were doing tricks all yesterday on Christmas with the balisong, the butterfly knives. But maybe you don't have that. Maybe all you have is a cane for self-defense. Because you can take this anywhere, and you can't take the knife, and you can't take the concealed carry weapon, your EDC. You can't take that everywhere. But yeah, Garen says pugil stick training. In the Marine Corps, you fight with pugil sticks, and then there's a bayonet course where you fight with your rifle and your knife, your bayonet, for the great possibility that in a battle, in a gunfight with the bad guys or the other guys, I don't know who's really the bad guys anymore, with the other, the people who's trying to kill you, you're trying to kill them, you run out of bullets, they cross the line, they're in your foxhole, they're behind enemy lines, or your lines, friendly lines, whatever. They're in the wire, as they used to say, and you can't carry one of these anymore. Then you have to, your gun runs out of bullets, and you have to fix the bayonet because they're that close. And then you're fighting, and then you break your bayonet. And then you just have a big stick, which is an empty rifle. And now you're smashing people with your rifle. And then the handguards fall off, which happens, and I've seen that when someone hit somebody else's rifle, his arm went whoop, made a U around the other side, and then broke the handguards off. He hit him so hard. And then your rifle breaks. And then you have to take off your helmet and smash them with if you have, or pick up a rock, or your hands, your feet, your elbows. You should know how to fight, is my point. And not just with one of these. And it just drives me nuts. I'll just carry one of these. Yeah. As Garen says, bullets run out. It's a daily calculation in my head. How many can I carry? How many magazines? How many are in each one? How many is in my gun plus the one in the, how many in the magazine? Plus you usually have an extra one because you should carry in the chamber when you carry. When I conceal carry, I don't have the same capacity as my duty carry. I'm cut down by about 3. So now I have the same caliber, but I have much less capacity. And I know I only have so many rounds, and then I'm out. And Almighty Cornholio says, you can't, we're gonna travel to Europe this summer. I can't bring any of these to Europe. But I wanna be safe, I wanna be able to protect my family. I know that I'm not getting these. I'm not carrying these in most cities that I go to in Europe, even though the criminals might have them. But I know I can bring this. I can bring my self-defense umbrella, and I have some options. So that's the whole point. Yeah, Garen says Gunstock War Club. So practice these basic techniques. If you want to get stronger, and I highly suggest that you hit them harder and faster. Yeah, Thug Kwando says you are the weapon. And Earl says I have both. Amen, Earl. I've got anything and everything that I can carry with me at any time. Plus some chest seals and a tourniquet and some gauze when I can carry it. I carry an IFAK for myself, for my family, some first aid, stop the bleed, God forbid. But you gotta be prepared as much as you can. But when you can't carry one of these, what can you carry? And we were at a show this week. We went and saw Cirque du Holiday. It was a Cirque du Soleil, I think that's how you say it, show. It was cute for the kids, and they had a lot of law enforcement there, which I felt better about. And they was West Palm Beach. They were all paying attention. I give them massive credit because I often will criticize when I see law enforcement who's there for security and he's staring at his phone or she's staring at her phone. There were 5 of them, and they were all paying attention, and there were 2 at each entrance, and then one in the middle who was coordinating the other 4. So I felt more safe, but not completely safe. I still wish I could have carried this, but they've got a rule. I can't carry my blade, I can't carry this, but I can carry my cane. So you're gonna you can carry a monkey fist. I don't know, they might take that one away. Make the monkey fist, you can make the monkey fist. I make them out of a metal ball, but you can also make them out of a glass ball or a cue ball, and a wooden ball. You can make a monkey fist out of that, and then it's not gonna put the metal detector off. So you put this over your back. Now you're gonna use your cane as a gym with this resistance band. Yeah, Thug Kwando says the Yawar Kubotan keychain. I've had too many of those taken from me to forever disappear into the box at the TSA. They'll take your Kubotan keychains. So I don't carry those on my keys anymore because I always forget when I go someplace. Just like mace, or I use pepper gel instead of pepper spray. You have it on your keychain, you forget, and then you've lost it, and you gotta replace it. So you have to remember to take them off. Yeah, a pin. Pins are great. You can defend yourself really well with a Sharpie too. Pushing straight down, you're activating the lower part of your chest. I call these standing push-ups. And what these will do is these will make your strikes with your cane so much faster, more explosive. It's also gonna build your muscle. Now you have two parts of the chest, but you have 3 angles that we're gonna do. The question about, Earl's asking about the palm rest. You hold it like this, Earl. You bring that straight up. And I don't know if you can see, that might not cut, that might not puncture and go deep. That's not a sharp piece of metal, but that's gonna tear some flesh for self-defense. That point is gonna concentrate. It's gonna, there are force multipliers. So yeah, uppercut with this, and you'll be standing here, back up, you're too close, get away from my wife, don't touch my child, bam! And then you just shove that straight up under his chin, either in at an angle or straight up. Uppercut this way, uppercut this way. There it is, the palm rest. To your point, Earl, very effective. So yeah, I highly recommend the palm rest. So we have the downward angle, hits the bottom part of the chest. Think about pushing yourself up out of a chair. We have straight forward, that's gonna hit the most of your chest. And then, I'm gonna adjust this a little bit. Pushing up at an angle, hitting the upper part of your chest. Think about that uppercut again. How are you gonna hit them harder, stronger? I do 30 seconds. I'm going for time under tension. As you age and you get older like me, you want to have time under tension. And then that time under tension, that means instead of counting your reps, count 30 seconds, 45 seconds, 1 minute, doing the exercise and then rest, and you'll get a lot more out of it. Yeah, Garen says a thick hickory pin. There's a lot of options if you just think about it. Now from here, the next way you can use this to hit the triceps in the back of your arm, and most of these strikes are gonna come through triceps and biceps. So we wanna get the upper arm and the front and the back strong. Pull this up to your forehead and then push up and away. And that's just gonna fire the muscles on the back of your tricep. And it might slide up every once in a while and smack you in the back of your head. If that happens, you're not gonna die. Just push it back down and laugh it off. And you'll learn faster. You can throw it under your glutes, your bum, and curl. And I like to do palm up. I'll do 30 seconds here, rest, put my hands in the middle, work a different part of that bicep, 30 seconds rest, and then change the grip completely so that my palms are facing down. And that is gonna really activate the outside and the front of your gripping muscles, which will make your grip so much harder and you'll hit so much harder. Pasta said, these canes break easily. You're thinking about a 10, because I know the canes you're talking about, I used to buy them all the time, $10 or $15 Carex wooden cane from the pharmacy or from Amazon. This Cane Masters cane is not gonna break very easily. The Cane Masters canes are made differently. They're made out of an extremely hard wood, and then they're soaked in an oil polymer mixture for several days, and it's sealed, and when you hit with them, they are extremely durable, and they're not likely to break. So this is not the same as this, and these aren't cheap. If you look at the link below, you'll see. Yeah, Pasta, I started, when I started training with canes, again, because I trained with them when I was younger, and then as I got older and my hips started to hurt, I really got back into it. I would get the wooden Carex cane, and they were cheap. They were 10, 15 bucks from Amazon. I'd get a whole bunch of them. I'd break one a week. Every time I'd hit a hard bag, or if I was practicing with someone, I had to be really careful I didn't hurt them when we'd do cane against cane. And then I got my first Cane Masters cane. I had the same Cane Masters cane, and I've smashed it against everything. Yeah, the reason the Carex canes, and most canes like that break, is because if you take off the finish, the wood inside is very brittle because it's been kiln dried, so they don't rot. What Cane Masters does differently is they start with a high quality, more expensive cane blank. And I recommend getting it in hickory because it's really not gonna break. But if you get this in hickory and then they stain this one and then they soak them for days in their own proprietary blend of stuff. And then that moisture goes back into the wood, making it flexible, heavy, so it hits so much harder. This Master's cane will break bones. It'll compress the flesh and break the bone, especially if you get one with that teardrop shape on the end. Yeah, John says he has one that's made out of aircraft aluminum. Those are also very, very strong. They're just heavier. Aircraft aluminum is definitely heavier than these Cane Masters canes. And so what you get in strength, you lose speed with. This one is very heavy. This is hickory, and it's a little bit longer than this one. You can see by several inches. But this one, this one is going to break a lot of bones for self-defense. This is very, very effective. So you have those little teeth there. You also have that beveled edge. That's going to compress the flesh even faster, snapping the bones in his arm, in his shoulder, in his ribs, in his neck for self-defense. If he's coming at you with his knife to slash, stab, take away your freedom, your dignity, your life, the life of your children, the life of your wife, your grandchildren, and you have a cane to defend yourself, then you have more options than just trying to do that with what we have naturally. And as we get older, we need force multipliers. And that's what these are, force multipliers. It takes the force that we have naturally, that we can generate as we age. We lose speed, we lose power, we lose strength, but we pick up wisdom and better tools, right? That's one of the great things about being older, as you stop buying the cheap dollar store tools out of the bin and you start to buy a set of Craftsman or whatever a good set of tools are. You start to invest because you realize after you've broken about 30 of the cheap $2 tools, you buy one well-made tool and it's gonna last you forever and you're not gonna buy one again. But these are Cane Masters, the link are in the description below. If you have any questions about these, just put them in the comment section. Or if you have comments, if you have one that you like better, if you like your metal cane, you can put that in the comment section. But these are, yeah, Garen says the teardrop shape. It's very effective. They're extremely effective. They move faster because you have less, and it's just a little bit, but it makes a difference. It's gonna cut through the air faster, like a blade. And when it hits, it's going to go through smashing all of the soft tissue and hit that bone and pop it. It's more like a high-pitched, but I can't make that sound with my voice anymore. High-pitched snap as he is coming at you with his knife, and you'll be able to defend yourself more effectively when you go for the teardrop shape. But go to that Cane Masters link, see what all different things you can do. You can get the inexpensive one. I highly recommend the Cane Masters Dojo cane. That's the one I use all the time. Or any of these are also super nice. Yeah, when you can afford one of these or you invest in one of these, they make a big difference. Yeah, the wooden canes compared to, like if you get a cheap, not cheap, inexpensive aluminum from like a DME store, or a durable medical equipment store, or like a pharmacy, then they're gonna bend and break very easily. But if you get some of the ones that are made out of aircraft aluminum or a polymer that are heavier and thicker, they're not gonna break as easily. And some of them might not even break, will not break when these will. But it takes a lot of force. I mean, you're not gonna break these very easily. But the difference is they're so heavy, and heavy means slow. That's why when I was a younger person, I was very competitive in martial arts competitions. My instructor forbid me. He said, genetically, you look at weights and you get bigger. And that's how I am. I go to the gym, I get bigger. He's like, don't get any bigger. It's gonna make you slower. And he was right. Every time I would put on muscle, I got slower. I dropped the muscle, I got faster, and I hit harder because I could move faster. So being a big muscle person doesn't mean you hit harder. It usually means you hit softer because you move so much slower. Being scrawny and small, scrawny is not the right word, wiry is the right word. Having strong muscle and fast muscle means, yeah, do some isometrics, this ass isometrics. Then you pick up speed. You don't need big muscle to be fast and be able to defend yourself. A lot of people make that mistake. They think they see a big guy and they're like, ooh, the big guy's scary. It's not the big guy you gotta worry about. It's the quiet, scrawny guy in the corner who works hard and works with his body that you got to worry about. Johnson's got a combat umbrella. I like the Uzi umbrella. I'll put a link in the description later to that one. They're also light and extremely durable. They don't break very easily, and they're like $50, and you can defend yourself very well with that. But put in the comment section what you like about the cane, what you'd like to learn about the cane, or Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and I'll see everybody on the next one. Thank you so much.